Saint Philomena, daughter of light. A prince and his princess, who ruled a small land, had just found their faith and thought it was grand. With a child they were blessed and filled with delight. They named her Philomena, meaning daughter of light. Their pride and their joy, she was pure and fair. Her beauty was such that none could compare. She had a pure soul and a beautiful face. She lit up the room with her beauty and grace. Such a love for our Lord she had, to be sure, and for love of him she vowed to stay pure. She whispered to God one day as she prayed, she'd not marry another. That's the promise she made. Then the Emperor of Rome, Diocletian by name, attacked their kingdom. He thought it a game. So her family went off to try to make peace. They begged Diocletian for this war to cease. The emperor was quiet as the prince pled his case, for all he could do was stare at that face. A more beautiful girl he never would find. The 13-year-old princess was who he had in mind. "All right," said the emperor, "I'll meet your demand in return for your daughter, if she'll have my hand." What a relief, her father then thought. She'll be his bride, our freedom is bought. This saddened her heart, for she knew she couldn't break her promise to God. She certainly wouldn't. She told her father of her special vow. She'd never break it, not even now. Her father looked sad and begged with a sigh, "If you'll not marry him, then you'll surely die." So they told the emperor she would not agree. But the emperor replied, "You can't refuse me. Forgive me, your highness, and father and mother, but I am promised to God and can't marry another." "You will," said the emperor. "Just wait and see. See all that you'll have when you marry me." He offered her riches, bright jewels and rings. He offered her land and many fine things. But still she refused and stood by for her vow, though he pleaded and begged her to marry him now. "I will have your hand. You can't tell me no. Soon you will see. To the dungeon you go." The dungeon was dark and so cold and damp. She didn't even have the light of a lamp. But she was God's light, and this she knew. Because she loved God, his light would shine through. The princess then knelt and with fervor did plead for the good Lord to give her the strength she would need. Diocletian came daily, many tricks he did try. To all bribes and threats she would not comply. He grew more enraged each day she said no, and God's loving grace continued to grow. On the 37th day of sitting in prison, she suddenly saw a wonderful vision. The Queen of Heaven, with her divine Son, said that in 3 days her trial would be done. "God will be with you, and I will be too. Frightful torments and pain are in store for you. Please do not be afraid. The angel Gabriel too will be at your side. Oh, be brave and true." First came a scourging, much like our Lord's. Bravely she prayed, while bound by thick cords. With heaven's oil the angels attended. They healed all her wounds, and thus they were mended. Then round her neck an anchor was hung. Down into the river Philomena was flung. Angels carried her back to the shore. Neither wet nor hurt, this angered him more. The people were heard to cheer and to shout. It was God's work, there is no doubt. The emperor was furious and said with conceit, "Now we will have her dragged through the street. Shoot her with arrows. If she won't be my wife, her refusal to me, she'll pay with her life." Then back to the dungeon and back to the chain. But Philomena came out, all healed again. When Diocletian heard, he fumed and thought, "Send for the archers, I want her shot." Yet not one arrow would leave any bow, and the cheers of the crowd continued to grow. "Light them on fire for another attack." They shot flaming arrows, but the arrows turned back. 6 of the archers were killed on the spot, and many conversions by heaven were wrought. To save herself, she's had her chance. Then the tyrant ordered, "Pierce her with a lance." Her soul, all joyous, sped to heaven in flight. Philomena dwells there, God's bright shining light. A glorious crown our martyr has won. For this valiant virgin, her struggle is done. More beautiful now than ever before, Philomena has gained her eternal reward.
That's the end of the story. Thanks for listening to me. Bye.